Hello my fellow book addicts, Megan here, and time for another book review. Today, I'm going to be talking about Frostburn by Patricia Briggs, and this is book 7 in the Mercy Thompson series. So, before I forget to mention it, and before I get much further into the review, I will say that we are at a point where you get some spoilers from the Alpha and Omega series. So, just to give you a warning, if you have not finished Fair Game yet from the Alpha and Omega series, I think it's book 3 or 4 in that series, there are spoilers at something that happens at the end of that series in here. I have already read the Alpha and Omega series before my reread for this, so I knew it was coming. I just couldn't remember which book it was. And for me, it's just easier to talk about this series first, reread through this series first, and then go to the Alpha and Omega books instead of trying to constantly double check and make sure I'm reading things in order. But yeah, want to give you that little warning just in case. And because this is the 7th book in a series, there's not too much I feel I can risk saying without giving spoilers. So I'm just going to say this is a good continuation of this series. I very much look forward to continuing on with the series with, I believe the next one is Night Broken, but I would have to double check that, and my phone is out of the way across the room and I'm lazy. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to spoiler a bit, so if you have not gotten this far in the series yet, or if you want to avoid Fair Game spoilers, I highly suggest you click away now and come back after you catch up. So, just to reiterate, I will be talking about something that is the result of what happened at the end of Fair Game. So, once again, gonna give you a chance to click away now before I continue on. Alright, so I don't know if I'm just slow, but it took me a while to realize, oh my god, I am this far in the series. At a point where things that happen in Fair Game are actually mentioned in the Mercy Thompson series. In past books, we have had Mercy mention Anna and Charles throughout the series, but this is, I believe, the first intersection of the series that really affect each other, for lack of better words. I actually did forget that the Fae declared themselves their own little nation and retreated into the reservations. I forgot that that was a thing. I have memories of what happened at the end of Fair Game where was he a Grey Lord? I can't remember. This important, powerful Fae guy kills someone very publicly because they were deemed innocent in the murder of several people and the torture of his daughter. But the human courts, being human courts, decided he's human, the victims were Fae werewolves, whatever. I remembered that bit, but I forgot about the whole Fae retreating into the reservations bit. Poor Mercy, this woman just can't get a break between that lovely car accident in the beginning of the book and then just finding out the whole pack is just gone. Unreachable via phone, via pack bonds. All she knows is Adam is in pain and he is angry. She has no idea what is going on other than what Gabriel, Kyle, and Ben could tell her. And I'm actually surprised that it took this long for some form of human group to come at the werewolves like this. It's been my mental timeline is a little wonky, but it's been a year and a half, maybe 2 years since the werewolves outed themselves, and now you got someone trying to set Adam and his pack up. But I guess, to be fair, if you get down to the base of things, it was technically a vampire behind all this, but he was using humans, so I guess I could consider it a human organization since the ones who did the kidnapping were Rogue, Cantrip, I think that's how you pronounce it, agents. So yeah, you know what, I'll consider it just humans going after them, whatever. But once again, I love the whole behind the scenes thing with these books. Things are never as they originally appear. You think, just humans being stupid and dumb. going after a whole werewolf pack to take out a senator, yada yada yada, when in fact there's someone else further back pulling the strings for a whole different reason. Just, I love being like taken off guard like that. It's just, I love how the story can change so much. I just love how these books are done. Spend most of the book thinking one thing, expecting one thing, and then it turns out, nope, here's what actually was going on behind the scenes. Yeah, poor Mercy, spending all this time worried about her pack, worried about her mate, trying to keep things calm among those who are free, and just then having all this other stuff thrown at her. Fae assassins, zombie fae assassins, scary as hell vampires, and being dragged into this horrible battle to the death. And oh man, I also love how we find out more what Mercy can do. Not just with her walker abilities involving like seeing ghosts and having to do with ghosts, but also like her ability to use the pack bonds combined with her abilities connection to Coyote. The whole like pulling Silver out of Adam and through Adam the rest of the pack. That was pretty cool. And I'm curious to see what else she can do in the future. It was so glad to see Z, even though, you know, he's supposed to be locked up in the reservations, him managing to sneak out to help Mercy out. I love that. I also like that we see more of Tad. Before it was more like little mentions of him, phone calls from him. Now, you know, getting to like see him more, him having a bigger role in the story. And I like Tad, and I do hope we find out why he seems to have changed, be a little more like grumpy, a little more closed off and angry. I want to know what happened in his time away from college, what resulted in him coming home, why he told no one. I want to know. Is it because what happened in Boston Fair Game, maybe? I mean, Harvard, it was stated Tad went to Harvard, right? Or was going to Harvard. So, were they a little iffy having a Fae student there after, like, the events of Fair Game and decided, you know, you gotta go? Or did he leave willingly because of harassment he got from humans? I need to know! Yeah, glad to see more of Tad, hope to see more of him. I was so glad that Gabriel got to hang out with his mother again and got to bridge the gap between them. Just, it made me so happy. It made me happy that after months, they managed to finally come together. I am happy to see that Stefan is still kind of like doing his own thing. He still hasn't really forgiven Marcella for what she did to his humans. Wolf? I don't know how to begin to describe my feelings around Wolf. As a character, I find him very fascinating, but if I was ever in Mercy's shoes, I would be just as terrified, if not even more terrified of him than she is. Just, oh my god, Wolf is scary. And oh my god, I feel like I had this huge list of things to talk about involving Mercy and everybody, but I'm just like, why am I blanking? Ben. There we go, Ben. I love how much my feelings have changed about Ben since the beginning. Like, before I just thought he was a jerk and didn't like him too much, but as the series has gone on and we learned more about him and got to see him grow a bit more, I have grown really fond of Ben. And just how willing he was to protect Kyle, and just, it definitely made me much more fond of him. Even though Kyle is human, he is still Pack. Him and Warren are mates. So he's just like, yeah, no, you're Pack, I protect you. So it just, it made me happy. And it makes me happy that Kyle and Warren are mates, because they are just great together and I adore them. And I am excited to see more of them in the future, as well as seeing Ben grow even more. I did feel bad for Honey. I know she's not the biggest fan of Mercy because her wanting to challenge the status quo, so to speak. But I still really love Honey, and my heart went out for her with the loss of her mate Peter. I actually forgot that was a thing too, and just that poor woman. It's gonna be interesting to see the loss that the pack feels in the future over their lone submissive, and how much of a hole that leaves in the pack in the future, and how that grief especially is gonna affect Honey in the future. And I have a feeling there was more that I was gonna say or discuss or mention, but I, for the life of me, cannot remember, so I'm just gonna stop myself here. For anyone who is still watching, what'd you think? Did you like this addition to the series? Were you about it? What were some of your favorite parts? Let me know. Let's get a discussion going. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I hope to see you guys next time.